Penny Skateboards partnered with Waterborne Skateboards and launched their first ever 29-inch Highline Surfskate. This board was actually my first ever Surfskate that I owned, and I now actually own a SwellTech, Smoothstar, Yao, and Carver. But I've got to say, for the price, this Highline definitely holds its own. I'm going to take an in-depth look at all the parts and give you my personal opinion on who I think it's best for and what I like and don't like. Now, first, I'm going to start off by going over who I think this board is ideal for. If you're looking for an entry-level Surfskate complete that's pretty affordable compared to all the other Surfskates on the market, I'd say this is a really solid option. However, I wouldn't go as far and say that this is a solid board for technical surf training. If that's the case and that's what you're looking for, then you should definitely look into like a Smoothstar, a Yao, or a SwellTech. Also, I think it's pretty important to note that you can definitely get away with putting together a Surfskate that's much cheaper than this if you buy like a Waterborne adapter and slap it on a wooden deck or a current board that you have. The Waterborne adapter kits will run you like $75-ish, which really aren't bad at all considering they're so well built. Out of all the boards that I own, the Highline feels the most punchy when I'm riding it. And that's a combination of the Waterborne adapter and the fact that it's only a 14-inch wheelbase. Now, you definitely don't want this board if you're looking for something just to cruise around town on, because the adapter makes the turning super aggressive. All right, now I'm going to take a closer look at each section of this board and give you my personal opinion. I'm going to first go over the hardware. The screws, nuts, and washers on this board are made of high tensile steel. Now, if you look closely, you can see that some of my screws are already rusting, but that's all my fault because this is my mess around board and I'll take it out into the street and ride right after it rains. I take full responsibility. You should never ride any of your boards when it's wet out. Since the Waterborne adapter makes the front of the board a little higher, that calls for a riser pad on the back truck, which is why the back screws are a little longer. Now, a minor thing that I did find when taking this board apart, there are only 5 speed washers included when technically there's supposed to be 8. I mean, it's really not a huge deal, and I'm sure it's not a common mistake for them to make, but I still thought I should just point that out. Overall, not much more to say about it other than it's your standard skate hardware, solid quality. Now, the trucks are where the magic happens for this board. It's all in the front Waterborne adapter that allows you to turn on a dime. Now, to simplify it, basically the adapter mounts to the deck and then the penny truck attaches to it, which allows the truck to pivot super aggressively. And instead of using a spring like most other Surfskate uses, like Smoothstar or Yao, Waterborne actually uses a urethane bushing, which is actually really cool for durability purposes. It's not gonna rust or break like springs are prone to doing. Waterborne definitely has a unique twist on the Surfskate adapter. It's really cool seeing a skate company come into the market, innovate, and really pave their own path. Now, the one downside I noticed about having a urethane bushing is you can really hear it squeaking when you're riding. I'll show you what I mean. With a Smoothstar Surfskate, when I go to do a turn, because it has a spring, it has constant tension pulling back, almost like fins in the wave when you're doing a turn. It's kind of hard to explain, but I definitely love what Waterborne's doing with their innovation. The other sick part about this adapter is they built a little front pivot to prevent any wheel bite. Now, that's something I haven't seen before, and it's such a subtle little design that I didn't notice until I started reading on their website. I was like, dang, that's super genius. How are you thinking about this, dude? You'll definitely see that it feels like pumping down the line on a surfboard. But once you start trying other Surfskates like Smoothstar or Yao, for example, a whole nother world opens. Like, I'm telling you, it might not seem possible, but those boards really replicate the feeling of surfing on land. Now, the back is a standard penny truck with a riser pad to even the board out. The quality of both the trucks and Waterborne adapter are top notch. Now, moving on to the deck, the W-shaped concave feels really nice. It's also wide enough to fit your feet comfortably on it while carving. But honestly, now that I have experience with my 33-inch Smoothstar and 32-inch Yao, this board just feels too short. I would love to see Penny in the future drop a larger version of this. I think that would do really well. They added a lightly sanded grip on top of the waffle pattern print, which if anything, it gives it more of a beachy feel. I don't really notice a difference of it adding more grip, especially if the bottom of your feet start to get a little moisture on it. This deck becomes super slippery. Now, I do think it's worth noting, if you like riding barefoot, after a while, the waffle pattern grip will get a little irritating in my personal opinion. Now the wheels on this are 83A polyurethane, making them soft enough to do pretty aggressive turning and not slip. The bushings are your typical barrel and cone skate bushings. I'm gonna be completely honest, like I'm not a huge nerd when it comes to bushings. If the board rides smoothly and it's not too stiff, then it's fine with me. And the bearings are Penny Skateboards signature ABEX 7 bearings. I mean, they're solid. I personally don't think bearings make a massive difference as long as you have decent ones. Now I do wish Penny capped the back of their bearings for extra protection. It's not a huge deal, but I love the way that Hamboard's San O bearings are double capped and rubber sealed. It honestly probably doesn't make a massive difference, but I just love knowing that because I'm riding close to the beach that sand can't get in and wear them down quicker. Overall though, solid bearings. So, do I think the Penny Surfskate is worth it? And my answer is yes. If you're looking for an entry-level board that's fun to ride, absolutely. I'll still ride this board whenever I want to take it out, mess around, and not having to worry about ruining it. Now, real quick, another thing I wanted to mention is that I reached out to Waterborne Skateboards to see if their lifetime guaranteed applied to this adapter. And I was actually pretty surprised to know that Penny actually makes this Waterborne adapter. I guess Waterborne just sold them the design, or they get a royalty for every board that Penny sells. I'm not too sure how that works. So the adapter on this board actually falls under Penny's warranty, which for this 29-inch is only 90 days. So is that bad? I'd say no, because I've never had any issues with this board, and I've ridden this thing through water. It's accidentally fell in a pool before, and it's all still functional. If you want something that's more focused for surf training, I'd suggest checking out a Smoothstar, a Yao, or a SwellTech. I'm gonna be doing reviews for each one of those boards in the future, so subscribe if you're new. If you have any questions about this board, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And if you found this video helpful at all, I would really appreciate it if you could drop a like below. It helps my channel out a ton. All right, I'll see you in another video later.